Hey everybody, it is Elsa932 on YouTube. Thank you for joining me. This is going to be another episode of Love is Blind Argentina. We are on episode 9. We are so much closer to the weddings. I cannot wait to get dressed up and go to these weddings. But let's get into it. It is exciting. Please like the video, share, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, but like it. YouTube is telling me you are coming in, you are seeing the video, and just not letting me know, hey, I came by. Okay? Just it would be nice for the algorithm and to let other people know that I'm out here doing Love is Blind Argentina. So we have Santiago and Emily. They had another fight, and he said hurtful words again. And they sort of agree to try better to communicate, but since they're on their own with this, I don't know how much this is going to, work. Julieta meets with a dress designer, where she goes from, oh, this is too simple, to, oh, this is too elaborate. I don't think Julieta knows what she wants in a gown. But she gonna figure it out because she cannot walk down the aisle in a tank top and shorts. Okay. Jose Luis and Florencia, she introduces her dad to him via video chat, and she does say they had a distant relationship. And she felt like she had to pick a side when her parents split. And she kind of distanced herself from her dad, especially when her mother was going through health issues before she passed. So that's a very different dynamic right there that we heard with Florencia. And I think it kind of humanized her for me. I was like, okay, I understand. The one parent that you still have around, you have a distant relationship with them based on their behaviors for your own mental health. And I really appreciated her sharing that. Maria Emilia and Mauricio, they were making a guest list, and she wants to bus folks in from her hometown. And I was like, wait a minute. Love is Blind US, we don't have big weddings. And Love is Blind UK, I think it was a maximum of 30 people. So bussing people in from her hometown, I was like, that's a lot, girl. So he said his mom may not be able to travel so far, so she may not, come. And they both end up picking the same style of invitation. Jose Luis and Florencia, they had a fight the night before. He is like, I am covered in here and there are no cats yet. And I'm like, Jose Luis, she's got 5 or 6 cats. Don't get upset being covered in here. It's just the beginning. She's mad because he wrote a letter to Julieta. And she feels that him not telling her about it. And I'm like, but you were hung up on Tom. So why are you making such a big deal about him and Julieta? You couldn't wait to see Tom. You were like, you were going to be a bad bee. It's time for bad bee play. And it's like all because of Tom. Yet you can't be as cordial as he was, towards Julieta. So she's afraid that this party with all the couples and all the people will mess up their dynamic of their relationship. But I'm like, Florencia, you already messing up the dynamic of the relationship. I'm sorry, it's just what it is. So we have the bachelor party, and they go back and forth, but I'm going to stick to it. In the bachelor party, Mauricio says that this is the ending of his single life. Ezekiel says he feels that she is still reserved, but is trying. That's what we can hope for. And I do see Julieta trying. Mauricio says that Maria Emilia's height is not a problem, but she has no sense of fashion. Now, he says some really derogatory things about how she dresses and what she chooses to wear. I'm not going to mention it. I was just like, okay, you're a fashion designer. She is not a fashionista, but you could at least be gracious in how you speak about your fiance. So the guys talk about Agustina, and Santiago says he needs to talk to her because she was very rude to Emily the last time and called Emily a bee. And I was like, ooh, child, with Santiago's quick temper, I don't think this is a good idea. So at the bachelorette party, Maria Emilia says she's still talking about eating foods since Mauricio is not around. Oh, I'll have this French fry. He's not here to see me. I'm like, girl, please stop with that. Ugh. Julieta says she feels pressured when he shares his emotions. And for someone who said they're not overly emotional, I could see and understand that happening. Florencia is upset because Jose Luis said he does not remember what was in the letter he gave to Julieta. And I could understand that. First, I thought that Jose Luis's letter to Julieta was recent, like because he hasn't seen her on the outside, he was going to kind of slip a letter under her door. But this is the letter he wrote back in the pods. So Florencia, I can understand. Y'all ain't been on vacation, but he came back home. She made a choice. He kind of put it behind him. So I understand Jose Luis saying, I don't remember what's in that letter. I don't remember what I told that lady. But, we need to separate the pods to now. You got him now, Florencia. Don't worry about it. Maria Amelia says, his expectations of her appearance makes her feel insecure about her body. He told her she needs to get more fit. And then she needs to, add stuff around her eyes and mouth. And I'm like, girl, he's not just talking about fashion. He's talking about you got to change your appearance physically. Emily tells the girls how rude Agustina was. And they're like, well, how do you know she said that? Emily was like, she said it to my face. She got up in my face. And I was like, ooh, Agustina, wait a minute, girl. The ladies did line dancing and bull riding, and the guys played soccer. I knew soccer was going to be in here. I'm just surprised. I'm just surprised that Santiago wasn't wearing his team's colors, because that's what I was looking for. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I really don't know his team's colors, home or away colors. But the ladies, Florencia says she trusts Jose Luis, but she needs reassurance. Girl, why? If you trust this man, why do you need reassurance? Trust means you trust him to behave. No reassurance needed. No reassurance needed, girl. You're just confusing me. How do you need reassurance when you trust him? So Jose Luis says that he would have a small chat with Julieta and nothing more. He's like, Florencia, I'm going to have a small chat. That's it. So they ask, who are you glad is not here? They all meet up together. They all come together. And they, in, I guess, the questions that production tells them, like, who are you glad is not here? And Ezekiel says Marino. And in walks Marino. Hey, everybody! And such a big personality. And he walks in with other guys from the pods. And then Agustina walks in with other ladies from the pods. Now, Love is Blind Netflix, I really like this. The US version is usually a cocktail, evening. But I like this at the park barbecue, daytime stuff, and then nighttime stuff. I really like this get together more than the usual eating and drinking in the US. So Santiago says this adds tension. Agustina was very quick to kiss him on the cheek and walk away. Hey, Santiago, mwah, and walk. She was not having a chat with him. She does walk to Emily, though. And we don't see what happens until a little bit later. Maria Amelia is talking to Marino, and she says, Mauricio gets jealous at times. Yet he's in his confessional saying that he is confident and he does not get jealous. But we saw your face. We saw how you looked at them when you walked away. We saw it. Don't give me that. So he says their communication is good now. Okay. Roberto interrupts Eva to talk, and she says she knows he planned a date with Agustina the day he got back from Tulum. She is nobody's fool, and she also found out that they got intimate on that date. Now, what does that mean? Please be gracious. I am doing this review and recap based on translation to English, both in the subtitles and through listening. So please be gracious. But I'm like, I need to brush up on my high school Spanish to find out exactly what the intimacy she was talking about with Roberto and Agustina. So then we see Emily and Agustina sitting down together. And Emily felt that Agustina's comments made it feel like the relationship was fake. Like Agustina thought that Emily and Santiago's relationship was fake. Augustina denies saying that. She's like, that is not what I said. She's like, you, Emily, just want drama. And Emily's like, Augustina is getting defensive. Okay? Augustina felt like Emily was brushing her off. And, she's like, I respect you. I respect a lot about you, is what Augustina said. And Emily's like, it has to go both ways. And Augustina said, this is because Santiago made her a backup plan. And she's nobody's backup plan. Santiago, remember, called Emily his wife, but still wanted to talk to Augustina. So Augustina felt slighted, as she should. I would feel that way. I would feel that way. You saying you had a dream about Emily and all that, but you still want to talk to me, acting like I got any hope with you? Mm-mm. So Santiago walks over. He tries to talk to Augustina, and she cuts him off rudely. I mean, she was like, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Emily. And Emily tries to get him to focus on her and stop. But he's like, no, I got this. And I'm like, Santiago, sometimes you need to be quiet and let your lady handle this. Okay? Sometimes you just let your fiance, especially when it's lady to lady, it doesn't look good if you are arguing with a woman. Doesn't look good. He does apologize for not telling Augustina sooner that he was in love with Emily. He does apologize, which I do give him credit for. The ladies do hug and decide to put it behind them because Augustina's like, that's not what I said, but that is how you took it. So I guess that communication and understanding was definitely needed because that's how we can misunderstand each other. And I think, too, that's what's happening to Santiago and Emily in their relationship. They're saying one thing, but when it translates to their partner, it comes out another way. Jose Luis and Julieta, they sit down and have a chat. And he's saying, she was not clear about liking Ezekiel. Now, I can co-sign that, Jose Luis, because even Ezekiel in the past was like, I don't know if Julieta really likes me. And she had to write a letter. So I can co-sign that. I can see that. She says that he waited until the second to last date to say he was even feeling Florencia. But Julieta, he wasn't giving him nothing. Julieta said she felt he had insecurities and she didn't want that in a partner. Daggone it, girl. That was deep. That cut deep. Florencia was staring at them. I mean, they were behind her on a couch on a table, and Florencia was looking back and staring. Just staring across the back. And Julieta's like, what's up with the stink looks? Florencia was listening to their conversation, and she was looking at their body language to see what was happening. And Jose Luis acknowledged that they should have had a private conversation. And Florencia walks off. Jose Luis, I agree with you. Private conversation was needed. But I don't think Florencia would allow a private conversation. She'll probably go off the handle. Based on her historical behavior, she probably would go off that you have gone off with Julieta and she can't see it. I'm just saying. She said on that day she was his first choice and he gave her the letter. So again, yes, Julieta was his choice on that day. He did not make her feel secure, she said, so she exercised her option with Ezekiel. Julieta said she should give him back his letter since it's so fake. I'm like, girl, it's not fake. On that day you were his top choice. But you didn't feel it, so you went with Ezekiel. I think it worked out for everybody. So Jose Luis says he wants to know if Ezekiel and Julieta really love each other. Why? Why? Jose Luis, focus on your relationship. Everybody, focus on your relationship, not anybody else's. Why do you want to know? Is that going to make you determine if you're saying yes at the altar to Florencia? But why are you concerned if they really love each other? I was like, oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. Who cares? Florencia and Jose Luis, she asked, did you get closure? Personally, I don't believe in closure, but that's just me. Jose Luis said, it's a pending conversation. He had feelings for both women at the time, or her face screwed up. Florencia's face screwed up when he said he was in love with both. He had feelings, not love. Feelings for both women. And Florencia's like, I want a letter now. And he's like, okay. And she's like, it has to be more meaningful than hers. And I'm like, Florencia, Come on, girl. Why you gotta do that? You want a more meaningful letter? Now you probably gonna edit it until he can get it right. Mauricio and Maria Emilia, he wants to change her nose. They're back in the apartments now. He wants to change her nose and give it a little upturn and use some chemical peel thing and lip procedures. And she's like, I respect his views on cosmetic surgery. I'm like, Maria Emilia, what are you saying? You respect his views? The man wants to change how you look and you respect his views on cosmetic surgery. That's the lawyer in her speaking. I'm sorry. There's no way. I'll be looking at him like, no thank you. Because that whole procedure going to droop when I get older. Come on now. So she says, he is a bit shallow. I'm like, girl, I need a little bit more because it seems like you're getting there a little bit with him, but you're not giving me all of it. She said she needs her partner to accept her as she is because her looks may change in the future. He ain't accepting it now, girl. He says he was joking about the surgery because he wanted to talk about how many women do it now. And she says they need more time to get to know each other. No, Maria Emilia, he don't need more time. In this little bit of time, he already said what he wants to change about you. Your clothes, he said you can't dress. Your facial features, he wants to add stuff, take stuff away. Girl, no. This ain't it. Mauricio ain't it. And I kind of knew that from the Mexico trip because the way he was talking about his body and how he looked, I think it seems that he wants a more model-esque figure. Santiago and Emily, they're eating lunch at the counter. They're talking about clothes, getting changed, getting ready. She mentioned a shirt that he slept in. And he gets testy because he's like, no, I slept in the shirt. She's like, that's okay. You can still wear it. He gets testy. Santiago gets so mad. He takes her food while she's eating out of the plate. Takes the plate and put it in the fridge and says, hurry up and get dressed. We got to go. She's like, wait a minute. I wasn't done. He's like, oh, we got to get ready. He puts the fruit in the fridge, the whole plate. And the first thing I said was, we ain't going to cover the plate. We ain't putting no saran wrap. We ain't putting it in a container, just an open plate. So please explain to me, if you're from Argentina, do you just put food in an open plate in the fridge? I was just startled by that because I'm like, it will smell up the whole fridge. I just was startled. Put it in a container to put it away properly. And I'm like, he said things just got complicated. I'm like, no, you complicated it. Why you take her food away and you're sitting right there? No, wrap up your food and say, hey, honey, I'm going to get dressed. Remove yourself from the area rather than taking her stuff and telling her she needs to go change. Come on. Florencia and Jose Luis, they have dinner on a boat. She feels spoiled as she should be. And I'm like, Jose Luis, can you keep up this lifestyle? Dinner on a boat? Because she seems to want dinner on a boat and these type of restaurant dates. He's giving a speech. She keeps adding to it. And what about this? And what about this? Let the man speak. She asks, is he ready to be her only family and friend? Jose Luis, she's already demanding. I don't know if you want to be her only friend and family because everyone else lives further away. He says you will find new relationships in this new life, in this new town, because he lives in Buenos Aires. And he said he doesn't want the burden with unrealistic expectations. Finally, Jose Luis, you're finally getting these are unrealistic expectations. Florencia says she wants his mom to give them the space they need because she's gaining a daughter-in-law, not losing a son. Okay, you want the mom to be pushed away, yet you want him to be your only family. Why can't you welcome the mom in since you have lost a mom, you don't have any friends or family, his family's here, his mom, you could welcome her in. Not too far in, but I understand what you're saying. Emily and Santiago, she says they have been fighting for a few nights. She's crying in the bathroom, and she says she just wants to go and doesn't want to do it anymore. And says conflicts keep on resurfacing. He feels he was talked down to at the gym and doesn't know if he wants to keep doing this. He says people have been talking down to him most of his life, and he doesn't want that from his wife. That I can understand, but I need to see and hear the footage. Because it may be how you took it. She may not be talking down to you, but you all left here in a heightened state already. It may be lost in translation. He comes and says he done packed his stuff and he told the producers he's leaving. He's tired of it. And she's just sitting there like, what? She's like, why did you block me on WhatsApp? He said, I didn't. That's teen behavior. He's like, I've never blocked you before from an argument. Why would I do it now? But Emily wants things to turn around. And we move on to Julieta and Ezekiel. His brother and wife come to visit. The brother sees them staying together after the show, which is interesting. He tells his brother how he feels for Julieta. And the brother said this is the most confident he has ever seen Ezekiel. It was a very nice family visit. It was one of the nicest ones I've seen in a while on Love is Blind. Jose Luis, he calls his mom Blanca. Now, Argentina, do you call mom by her first name and not mom or madre? I found it very odd that every time he said Blanca, I'm looking for a friend, and that's his mother he's calling. So she says people don't want to come because some people think that the wedding is fake. He's like, if anybody thinks this wedding is fake, they can skip it. They don't have to come. I was like, ooh, child. So Florencia does say it makes her nervous when he raises his voice. He said it's specific times. This is a stressful situation, and it's foolishness that these people think is fake. So now we have the wedding days. We start off with Florencia and Jose Luis. I love Love is Blind International staging the dresses and the suits in the waiting rooms, in the dressing rooms. Absolutely fabulous. They walk in, the room is decorated, and their suit or dress is actually on a mannequin, beautifully displayed. I wish the US would do that. I do not like my brides and grooms walking in with, suit sacks and all that. I think that's a little tacky. So Florencia's brother comes. He promises that even though they may be far in distance, it will not affect their bond. Her dad makes it to the wedding. She wanted her dad to walk her down the aisle. His friends, said he was together 10 years with his wife before they got married. Keep in mind, someone in my comments did say this is traditional for Argentina. People are together for years, maybe even have kids, I was told, and then they may decide to get married. So it's a little different than what I know culturally. So his mom arrives in a beautiful Blanca, I hope I may call you Blanca, beautiful blue gown to match his suit. When I tell you Blanca came as the mother of the groom, Blanca did not disappoint. Blanca, you look fabulous. You looked fabulous. She said she's afraid that Florencia will push her out of her son's life. And I can see your fear, but until something happens, there's no merit for it. She hasn't been pushing you now. So it is a huge wedding, y'all. There are guests upon guests upon guests. Huge wedding. At least about 60 to 80 people. I was like, Netflix Argentina got a bigger budget? Or Love is Blind Argentina? You got a bigger budget? And he walks to the altar with his mom. Mom sits. She's walked in. Florencia is walked in by her dad. Handed over to him. And we go straight to Florencia. Do you take Jose Luis? I'm like, y'all didn't waste a moment. Usually in the US, we're saying vows. Would you like to say something? Say some vows. And then we ask you, is love blind? But they went straight into, I made a mistake, they went straight into asking Jose Luis, do you take Florencia as your wife? And that, folks, is the end of episode 9. I hope you will join me for episode 10, where we get all the answers to all the couples, and we have all of our weddings at the end of episode 10. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, and join me for episode 10, where we find out who says I do, who says I don't, and who may not even show up at the wedding. Thank you so much for joining me, and just be kind to yourself, as always. Thank you for watching. Please like,
share, and subscribe to the channel.